What if I told you that after winning independence from Britain, America had to fight for its freedom all over again? Just a few decades after the American Revolution, the young United States found itself facing its old enemy in a conflict that many historians call America's Second War for Independence. The War of 1812 was a dramatic struggle filled with fierce battles, political disagreements, burning cities, and incredible acts of courage. It was a war that tested whether the United States could truly survive as an independent nation. By the early 1800s, tensions between the United States and Great Britain were growing rapidly. Britain and France were locked in the massive Napoleonic Wars, and both countries tried to restrict American trade. The British Royal Navy often stopped American ships and forced American sailors into British service, a practice known as impressment. Thousands of sailors were taken from American vessels and compelled to serve on British warships. Many Americans viewed this as a direct attack on their national sovereignty and dignity. At the same time, British support for Native American tribes resisting American expansion in the western frontier increased anger among American settlers and politicians. In Congress, a group of young leaders known as the War Hawks pushed strongly for military action against Britain. They believed that national honor was at stake and that the United States had to defend its rights. Some even hoped that a successful war might allow America to capture British-controlled Canada. President James Madison faced growing pressure and finally asked Congress for a declaration of war. On June 18, 1812, the United States officially declared war on Great Britain. At the beginning of the conflict, many Americans expected a quick victory. However, the war proved far more difficult than anticipated. Early American invasions of Canada ended in failure. Poor planning, weak leadership, and lack of preparation hurt American forces. British troops and their Native American allies successfully defended Canadian territory and prevented American advances. One of the most important Native American leaders during the war was Tecumseh, who worked to unite tribes against American expansion. His leadership made him a powerful force in the conflict. While battles raged on land, the United States Navy achieved several surprising victories at sea. Although the British Navy was much larger and more powerful, American warships won important engagements that boosted national morale. Ships, such as the USS Constitution, earned legendary status after defeating British vessels in combat. Nicknamed Old Ironsides, the ship became a symbol of American determination and resilience. These naval victories demonstrated that the young nation could stand against one of the world's greatest military powers. The war soon spread across the Great Lakes region. In 1813, American forces won a major victory in the Battle of Lake Erie under the leadership of Oliver Hazard Perry. After securing control of the lake, Perry famously reported, "We have met the enemy, and they are ours." This victory allowed American forces to regain territory and weaken British influence in the region. Soon afterward, the death of Tecumseh during the Battle of the Thames significantly reduced Native American resistance in the Northwest Territory. Despite these successes, the war remained far from over. In 1814, Britain was finally able to focus more resources on North America after the defeat of Napoleon in Europe. British troops launched new offensives against the United States and achieved one of their most famous victories. In August 1814, British forces marched into Washington, D.C., and set fire to several government buildings, including the Capitol and the White House. Americans were shocked and humiliated by the burning of their capital city. Yet even during this dark moment, stories of bravery emerged. First Lady Dolly Madison helped save important national treasures before fleeing the city. After burning Washington, British forces turned their attention toward Baltimore. The city became the target of a massive attack that included a bombardment of Fort McHenry. Throughout the night, rockets and artillery shells exploded over the fort. An American lawyer named Francis Scott Key watched the battle from a nearby ship. When dawn arrived, he saw that the American flag was still flying above the fort. Inspired by the sight, he wrote a poem that later became the lyrics of the American national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. As fighting continued, both sides grew tired of the costly conflict. Negotiators met in the Belgian city of Ghent to discuss peace. On December 24, 1814, representatives from Britain and the United States signed the Treaty of Ghent. The treaty largely restored conditions to what they had been before the war. Neither side gained significant territory, and many of the issues that had sparked the conflict remained unresolved. However, because communication was slow, news of the treaty had not yet reached North America. As a result, one of the most famous battles of the war occurred after the peace treaty had already been signed. In January 1815, American forces under the command of Andrew Jackson faced British troops at the Battle of New Orleans. Jackson's soldiers, including frontiersmen, militia members, and volunteers, achieved a stunning victory against the experienced British Army. The battle made Andrew Jackson a national hero and created the impression that America had decisively won the war. The War of 1812 ended without a clear military winner, but its impact on the United States was enormous. The conflict strengthened American nationalism and increased confidence in the country's future. Many citizens believed they had successfully defended their independence against a powerful empire. The war also weakened Native American resistance in many regions, opening more land to American settlement. Politically, it elevated figures such as Andrew Jackson and encouraged a growing sense of national unity. Today, the War of 1812 is often overshadowed by the American Revolution and the Civil War, yet its importance cannot be overstated. It was a defining test for a young nation still finding its place in the world. The United States entered the war uncertain of its strength and emerged with a stronger national identity and greater confidence. For many Americans, the conflict proved that independence won in 1776 could be defended and preserved. That is why the War of 1812 is remembered as America's second war for independence, a struggle that helped shape the future of the United States and confirmed that the nation was here to stay.